Welcome to CC Writes. My name is CC Lepke, and today I'm still working on my Dungeons & Dragons beginners campaign for my best friend. Last time I got done a lot of stuff. I went through the theme, the setting, the plot, and the scenes and characters and all of those sorts of things to decide everything that's supposed to go into my story. Then after that I went through all of the different branches of the ways that the story could go, all of the possible options that my friend might choose in order to sort of subvert the story. I planned for every possible eventuality until I had enough stuff that I can use to sort of keep myself on track and figure out how to work out the story later on, if she decides not to go along with the regular story that I've come up with. So now I'm going to go through each of the scenes that I came up with, and for each of those scenes, I'm going to come up with basic dialogue for the story. Basically, when I write this part of the story, I do it in a way that is kind of like writing the script for a video game. The characters will have like basic information that they have available and basic dialogue that they can use with the characters as they're going through it that will tell the players of events that are happening in the area, of important information that they need to be aware of, and just general dialogue to build the scene for everything and all that kind of stuff. So I am going to go through that today. So I've listed all of the scenes out here. I created a new document so that I could have it organized a little bit more easily. And each of these is going to be a different scene, propels them along the major plot line. The interesting thing about this is that not everyone goes through things in the specific order that you want them to or that you expect them to. Sometimes they'll go through things like all over the place, and so I do try to leave a little bit of if and areas for it, which is if you know programming at all, you have if one other thing has occurred, then you'll return whatever specific result. And so it's like if they've been to area A, then you can align them with dialogue A. But if they haven't been to area A, then you'll maybe want dialogue B, C, or D, which is completely different than what it would have been otherwise. So I do also want to keep in mind of all of that kind of stuff. So I'm going to start here with the very first scene, the introductory scene, where they're on the boat about to land in Turkey to disembark and go scout out the area around the city of Troy. Oh, should I do this like a story map maybe? Yeah, I think doing it like a story map would be good. So lucky for me, I already came up with characters that I wanted to be involved with everything, and that is going to be these people. So for each scene I can go through and figure out easily who actually needs to be there. This has taken a bit longer than I had anticipated, but I do like how easy it is with all of the story mapping that I did here. So it shouldn't be too bad now that I have all that out of the way. Okay, so there are two options from this point in the story. I've got if the boat survives and if the boat sinks as they are making a landing on the shores of Troy. So I need to figure out how that affects the dialogue from this point, because it's going to be a little bit different depending on what happens. But I would like it to be similar enough that it can just be slightly shifted. And I'm trying to figure out how best to arrange that so I don't get confused as I'm trying to read it to my friends later. And that is the problem, because I don't want to confuse myself. This is one of the first major diverging moments of the campaign. So they actually have a lot of options here of what they can do. And I want to make sure that I have flavor text and dialogue for enough of it that I can get through once we get to this part. But I do also need to make sure that I organize it well so I understand what exactly is going on. I guess I could do titles for each possible option that they have. Yeah, I'll do it that way. So my stream cut out a little early, but I was able to finish up all of the dialogue for all of my scenes, get in the flavor text that I needed, and even add in a few alternate endings. Next time, I'm going to be adding in gods into the story to make it a little more interesting and add a little bit more of that fantasy divine element into it that I think is really necessary for a story about the Trojan War. But thank you very much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed our time together. And if you want more from me, don't forget that you can check me out on Twitch and Twitter. There are links in the description below. And I will see you later.